Hi, welcome to today's Daily Catch Devotional. This is on the need for prayer. This devotion comes from Alistair Begg's sermon, The Need for Prayer, and I highly recommend that you listen to the whole thing. Ephesians 6:18 through 20. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, being watchful to this end with all perseverance and supplication for all the saints, and for me, that utterance may be given to me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in chains, that in it I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. We are all called to pray. We must pray. There is a great need in our lives for others to pray for us, especially the congregation, to get under the burden of prayer in relationship to the responsibility that is given to our pastor. Paul here is giving us a comprehensive call to prayer, praying at all times with all perseverance for all the saints. Then he asked for prayer for himself. Spurgeon explained the success of his ministry by saying, "My people, pray for me." Paul went through difficult times, as did Spurgeon, as do pastors today. I encourage you to read 2 Corinthians 1:8 through 11. The Phillips version says it a little different and says it like this: "You should know that we were completely overwhelmed. The burden was more than we could bear. In fact, we told ourselves that this was the end. Yet we believe now that we had this experience of coming to the end of our tether, that we might learn to trust not in ourselves, but in God, and you can join in and help us by praying for us." You should know, in 1871, Spurgeon wrote to his congregation that his spirit was prostrate with depression, and that he entreated his congregation not to cease their supplications. In that trial, he asked for their prayers. When we are relying on ourselves, we see no real need to pray. If we don't realize the very real need to pray for our pastor and others in ministry and all the saints, who knows what will happen to the church, the pastor, and the ministries. But when we realize our need for prayer and pray, the good that is done in answer to many prayers will mean eventually that many will thank God for what he has done. Colossians 4:2 through 4 says, "Continue earnestly in prayer, being vigilant in it with thanksgiving. Meanwhile, praying also for us, that God would open to us a door for the word, to speak the mystery of Christ, for which I am also in chains, that I may make it manifest as I ought to speak." And 2 Thessalonians 3:1 says, "Finally, brethren, pray for us, that the word of the Lord may run swiftly," that the word of the Lord would go forward unhindered. And how does the word of the Lord go forward unhindered? As the people pray, the word of the Lord will go forward unhindered.